Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have the privilege of Eric standing, I'm sitting, with my good friend and fellow patient colleague from McGee Rehab Hospital, Eric Fraint. And Eric, as some of you may know, is the president and founder of Your Part-Time Controller, which is an accounting firm with a national footprint headquartered in Philadelphia. And Eric, how did we meet?
Well, we both had, I'm going to say, the good fortune of ending up at McGee Rehabilitation Hospital in Philadelphia. In my case, I had become sick with Guillain-Barré syndrome. In the doctor's case, he had an accident. He fell in a very severe situation. And as luck would have it, the room that I was put in happened to be the room immediately vacated by Dr. George. And his daughter had left encouraging quotes stenciled onto the wall. And I spent a lot of time lying there reading those quotes. And I think at the time I had them all memorized. And I started to ask the doctors who was in this room, and they proceeded to tell me your story. And later during each of our process of rehabilitation, physical rehabilitation, we saw each other quite a bit. We started by saying hello, and we put it together that we both shared the same room at the hospital. And we had a lot in common in terms of some of the physical issues we were dealing with, and that's how we became friends. So that was another, for me, very positive aspect of the whole situation, and so that's how we met.
Absolutely. That's an accurate recollection. And subsequent to that, on our graduation from the McGee Hospital, we built on our friendship at the McGee Riverfront Clinic on Columbus Avenue in Philadelphia. And one thing led to another. Eric has a wonderful and dry sense of humor, and we got along very well. We now both serve on the McGee Hospital Foundation Board of Directors and continue McGee's good work in that capacity. And then along the way, I discovered that Eric was a collector of art and had a deep appreciation of art going back a number of years, including the fact that his mother was a wonderful abstract artist in her own right. And one thing led to another, and Eric and his wife visited with me in Woodbury at my studio, picked a number of paintings, and suggested that he had vacant wall space in his office in Philadelphia, and would I consider hanging some of my art in his office. And I reflected on that, and the fact that he's an art connoisseur encouraged me to say yes, and that's part of what we're seeing and sharing with you today, folks.
So you give me way too much credit in terms of my knowledge of art, but nevertheless, I know what I like, and I first saw your works hanging up at the hospital. So when you go to McGee Hospital in Philadelphia, that you can't escape the doctor's art. It first started out, I first noticed it in a few places, and over time it grew. And then at Riverfront, the outpatient rehab facility that the doctor mentioned, one day I went in there, and every wall was covered. And then we rented some new office space in Philadelphia, and the walls are all white. And before I started buying artwork for it, I came upon the idea of talking to the doctor about the possibility of displaying some of his work. So it all came together in that regard very nicely.
Absolutely. And that's our story.